Before tides found their rhythm, before currents knew their endless paths, the ocean's first memory was a voice. Her name was Aeloria, a mermaid whose song didn't just travel through the water, it shaped the sea itself. When she sang softly, waves would settle into a glassy calm, and vibrant coral forests swayed in a gentle, perfect harmony. When her melody rose, storms would bend to her will, and entire oceans obeyed. The sea listened to her as one listens to an ancient, undeniable truth. Aeoloria's home was Thamira, a radiant kingdom of living coral and towers lit by pearls, resting deep beneath the surface where the light filtered down in shifting blues. At the heart of this kingdom stood the resonant hall, where gifted singers learned to harmonize with the ocean's soul. But even among the most talented, Aeoloria's voice was unmatched. From the time she was a child, the elders knew her gift was both rare and dangerous. To control the sea was to bear a heavy responsibility for every life it touched. So, they taught her restraint, balance, and above all, humility. She listened carefully, never using her power for pride or vanity. She sang only because the ocean asked her to. Yet, despite her devotion to the deep, Aeloria felt a constant, curious pull toward the world above. Ships would pass overhead like drifting shadows, carrying strange sounds and stories she couldn't quite decipher. She noticed the sea behaved differently near the air, less obedient, more unpredictable, and wild. Sometimes, from a safe distance, Aeloria would hum softly, testing how her voice changed near the light, her curiosity a quiet, persistent song of its own. One fateful night, that curiosity turned into destiny. A sudden violent storm exploded across the surface, born from colliding winds and restless, angry currents. Thunder cracked through the water like a whip, and the waves twisted into monstrous shapes. From the depths, Aeloria sensed the raw panic in the water. A small human vessel struggled against the fury, its mast snapping as the ship rolled helplessly in the tempest. And then she heard a sound that pierced through the chaos, a human cry. Without a moment's hesitation, Aeloria surged upward, toward the churning surface, and she sang. Her voice sliced through the storm's rage, calming the waves just enough to keep the fragile ship from being torn apart. But the storm fought back, resisting her control, and, in a violent lurch, a sailor was thrown into the sea, vanishing beneath the churning black water. Aeloria dove after him. She found him sinking fast, his wide eyes filled with a terror that spoke a universal language. Wrapping her arms around his fragile body, she sang again, forcing the sea to part and lift them both toward the air. The ocean obeyed her command, but balance demanded a price. As they reached calmer water, Aeloria felt something inside her collapse. Her song fractured, then dissolved into silence. Her magical voice was gone. Uncontrolled, the waves surged back to life. With her last ounce of strength, she pushed the sailor onto a piece of drifting wreckage before the darkness finally claimed her. When Aeloria awoke, she was back in Thamira. But a profound, unnerving silence surrounded her. She tried to sing, to call to the water. Nothing happened. Her voice still existed, but its magic, its power over the sea, had vanished. Pure panic filled her chest as the kingdom's elders gathered around her. Keeper Neris, the oldest and wisest among them, spoke gently, her voice full of sorrow. "You traded your gift for a life that did not belong to the sea," the elder said. "The ocean accepted your sacrifice." Aeloria met her gaze, her answer clear and immediate. "I would do it again," she replied, without a hint of regret. Neris nodded slowly. "That is why the sea still listens to you. But your path forward will be different now." Without Aeloria's song, Thamira felt unbalanced. The currents shifted unpredictably, storms lingered far too long on the surface, and the entire ocean seemed restless and agitated. Though no one blamed her, Aeloria felt the weight of every single disruption. She had saved one life, but felt she had endangered her entire world. At last, when the kingdom's unease was at its peak, Nereis revealed an ancient truth. "Beyond the known currents," she explained, "lie the enchanted waters. It is a place of trials and transformation. If your voice is to return, it will not return as it was. You must travel there and listen. not command. Aeloria accepted the journey without question. She swam alone into waters where light bent in strange ways and sound behaved unpredictably. Her first trial was the Whispering Shoals, a ghostly place where the echoes of lost sailors drifted like broken memories. The voices mocked her doubts and her guilt, telling her she had failed her kingdom, that her sacrifice was a mistake. She tried to sing them away, to command them to silence, and then she remembered she couldn't. So instead, she did the one thing she had left. She listened. Beneath the tormenting whispers, she felt a profound grief, a sorrow that was longing to be acknowledged. Aeloria spoke softly, her voice carrying no melody, only empathy. "You are heard." And just like that, the voices faded and a path forward opened. Next, she entered the glass current, waters so impossibly clear they reflected not faces, but possibilities. Aeloria saw herself as she once was a queen of the sea, commanding storms, and as she feared she might become forgotten. Powerless, a ghost in her own home. Panic rose in her throat, and she cried out, a raw sound of fear. Her voice shattered into 1,000 tiny harmonics that rippled through the current. And then something amazing happened. The water responded gently, aligning itself around her emotion, soothing it. Aeloria realized then that her voice still mattered. It simply worked differently now. As she continued her journey, she tested her changed gift. A breath, a laugh, a sigh of sorrow, each shaped the water in subtle, delicate ways. She no longer controlled the sea. She was resonating with it. Her final trial awaited in the hollow trench, a place of vast absolute silence where even ancient songs were said to disappear forever. The pressure closed in as Aeloria descended, until even her thoughts felt muted and heavy. At the very bottom, she found it, the heart wave. It was a slow, deep pulsing current that mirrored the ocean's oldest, most fundamental rhythm. Here, in the crushing silence of the abyss, Aeloria finally understood the truth. She didn't need to command the sea. She needed to join it. And so, Aeloria sang, not with power, but with honesty. Her song carried her fear, her love, her sacrifice, and her hope. It was a melody that shifted and changed as naturally as the tides, imperfect and beautiful. The trench trembled, not in destruction, but in recognition. It was listening. When her song ended, silence did not return. Instead, the ocean answered her, its own ancient music rising to meet hers. Aeloria rose from the enchanted waters transformed. Her voice no longer summoned towering waves or silenced hurricanes. Instead, it guided balance. When storms grew too wild, her quiet hum would ease their fury. When tides fell out of sync, her gentle song would help them find their rhythm. The sea no longer obeyed her, it collaborated with her. When she returned to Thalmyra, the kingdom felt the change immediately. The currents steadied, the reefs relaxed, and the whole ocean seemed to breathe as one living, peaceful body. Aeloria sang among her people, not from a throne of power, but from the open water, a part of the whole. And far, far above, on the sunlit surface, sailors would sometimes pause their work on calm seas, feeling an unexplainable peace wash over them, as if the ocean itself were listening and happy. Aeloria was no longer the voice that ruled the tides. She had become the melody that understood them,